All right, hold on. What's up, everybody? Give me 1 second. I'm desperately trying to do something that I thought would be super cool, and instead it's turning into a hot mess on fire. So you'll have to stand by with me. Let me actually just hide this for a second. Oh, let me just hide this for a second. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Gerald Auger. This is Simply Cyber Live, where we typically bring in industry experts and guests in order to bring their opinions, their thoughts onto the channel and bring it to you. But today's a little special. Today happens to be my birthday, and I was unsure what exactly I was going to do, but I am super pumped and super excited to spend some time with you all. And I thought, how might I be able to deliver value to an audience like this? And my thought was, hey, you know what? I can simply do a Cybersecurity Career Answers AMA. Now, I want you to know, over the next 30 to 45 minutes, first off, I genuinely appreciate all of you in the Simply Cyber community. I know many of you might be, there's probably a couple of you who are like, who is this guy? He's like, I'm new here. I don't know who this guy is. And we'll get into that in a second. But for many of you, you are Simply Cyber community members. I genuinely appreciate it. I see people like Gaming with the Cat, Nick Barker, Base Case is in here, Carrie, obviously. Hey, Hazel Miranda. So a lot of community members that make the Simply Cyber community amazingly good. Base Case celebrating 12 months as a squad member. Enjoy that, Base. Thank you so much, Jose Cervantes, Angel Perez, Allison Carrera. Thank you so much. Kimberly, I appreciate it. So, guys, what I was thinking was, what I can do is I can answer your cybersecurity career questions. I want this stream to be just hanging out, having a good time. But I want you to know that I have built a YouTube channel that's pretty successful. IT Sorceress with the super chat. Thank you so much, IT Sorceress. Can I bring that on stage? Look at this. We're gonna have we're gonna have high engagement, guys. Look at this. IT Sorceress dropping in $5 birthday gift. Thank you. Very nice. I've built a YouTube channel. I have gone to school in various capacities. I teach at university. I've developed an online course. I am a cybersecurity practitioner up the GRC track, a CISO. So I have a lot of different kinds of experiences, and I've just gone up and down the path many, many times. I work from home. I do a lot from home, right? I've spoken publicly at conferences and stuff. So we can talk about cybersecurity career answers, and I am totally down to answer as many of those as you want. I will do as many as I can. But if you have other questions, please ask them. I'm here. Also, very rare, you won't catch me doing this very often on stream. Hold on, I see a question from Carrie. Any questions you guys drop, I'm just going to flag, and then I'll start going rapid fire and asking them. Okay, y'all? Nick Barker. Guys, oh my gosh, Base Case with the super chat. Thanks so much, Base. Genuinely appreciate all you do for the channel. Also, you guys may have seen Dan Ritter and Haircut Fish actually made a meme of me today for my breakfast, for my birthday, but he actually did a Halloween one, and part of the joke was that I had these big cans. Base Case will be happy to know, and many of you in the community may know, I actually just ordered a, like the kind that like professional newscasters use, where it's like the little thing in their ear and it clips on their back and it's molded special to their ear. I was on IT Pro TV the other day, and they had all the fancy stuff. And I was like, what are you guys doing with all this fancy stuff? And they're like, oh, this is where we get it from. So I immediately went and just ordered it like a minute ago for a birthday gift for me, right? So I should have these cans disappeared, but not have audio issues, Base. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the big reveal, guys, I will be enjoying a breakfast pint. For those of you who are in the Discord channel and know about beer love, I am enjoying a delicious pint. And I know the next question Lane has is, what are you drinking? Let me show you. Where is it? There it is. Oh, wait, hold on. You got the wrong screen. Check this out. I am drinking Hop Slam. My wife got this for me as a birthday gift. This beer only comes out once a year. It's from Bell's up in Michigan. And this beer is diesel when you're talking about hop flavor. It is so good. So I'd like to say, everybody, absolutely cheers. Thank you so much for all you've done. Simply Cyber has been around for 3 years, and it's a big part of my life, and I want to thank all of you. So cheers to all of you. Oh, yeah. Nick Barker knows what the Hop Slam is. New Belgium Voodoo. Wait, actually, let's flip it up, guys. What's your favorite beer? What kind of beers you like? You guys more of a wine moment? You more of a A hard liquor person? Just coffee's your jam? Oh, public sweet tea. I like that. Huzzah! I see you, Eric Silverman. Good to see you. Yeah, cheers to you too. I see a question in chat. Let me flag that from Aaron KG. Here, as you guys, what's the best way to, okay, so let me start answering some questions because I want to deliver value to you guys, okay? So first question right off the rip. And by the way, if I miss a question and it kind of streams away, don't please re-enter it into chat because I'm producing and hosting and doing all these other things, okay? Rich464 says, I have a sales background and Anisha Sanders, happy birthday, Mine Sunday. Thank you for everything. Oh, Anisha, thank you so much. Very, very, very generous of you. I really appreciate that, Anisha. So Rich464 says, he's a sales background, transitioning into passionate tech. What sales-related positions are available for cybersecurity? Rich464, dude, you, assuming Rich is a dude, you are in a really sweet spot. If you can work sales, you can make fat bank, right? Oh, I can use my sound effects.
Great cash, homie.
Right, you can make so much. Hold on, get out of here with that. You guys can make so much money if that's what you're into is money. Cybersecurity companies, especially big tech startups, the product side of the house, they need sales engineers like I need, you know, another sip of my beer right now. Like they absolutely need you. And obviously because it's sales, it's commission based, but if you can put it to the ground, you can go for it. I will tell you, there are all sorts of technologies right now, Rich, that like the security product market is a multi-billion dollar business. All you have to do is look at like whatever tech is out there. Go to any trade show, go to Black Hat, go to conferences, right? You will see all of them there. And if you don't want to wait right away, you can go to like, you know, Simulate, Intezer. Like I've worked with several of them. I've interviewed several of them on the channel. They all need sales engineers. Conceal.io, all of them, right? And if you can help sell their product, obviously they're going to like you. So I would say lean into that. And then if you find your passion somewhere else outside of sales, right, you can pivot internally within the company. Now, if you were going to go for like a more corporate type job, that's going to be a little harder, right? So if you're going to lean into your sales, but all of those companies are going to be doing product. And if, like, let's say, Rich, you want to get into like SOC analyst work, right? Go work for a company doing sales, because you can get that job, that their product, like Intezer, right? Intezer is a company that sells tooling that's designed to make SOCs more efficient, eliminate false positives, give better enriched data, right? So if you go work for them and you get all spun up on what SOC problems are, how to solve SOC problems, what SOC analysts do, and then you start doing a little bit of range and stuff, you're going to be a great SOC analyst candidate because you understand what the role is and how to do it well. So great question. Thanks so much, Rich. This music's terrible, by the way. I might have to change the song. Next question comes from our good friend and recently A+ certified Carrie. Carrie asks, Jerry, how can I use my small amount of knowledge to get hired? I still have ways to go in the software part of A+ since I only have just the half the A+. Well, Carrie, keep working on that A+. Also put on your resume, you know, the second half of A+ and say like your anticipated date, right? So that's a good way to beef up the resume. You do need to just keep, continue to work. That's one of the big, I guess, drawbacks, if you will, of cybersecurity. Technology is constantly changing. Like techniques, the way threat actors operate is constantly evolving. So you have to stay current. And Carrie, I know you come to the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing every day. So you are keeping that information. You should really definitely think about the things that we're talking about on that daily show, put it in context. You know, do some ranges, figure out what job you want, right? If you just want a job in cyber, look at where the greatest kind of a surface is for potential jobs. You know, ask someone like Joe Hudson, like, hey, what looks like the current climate? Is it mostly SOC analysts getting hired? Is it mostly GRC people getting hired, right? So, you know, if you go to a larger bounty of jobs, you know, you have a higher likelihood of getting them. Also, you know, professional services, you are former military, Carrie, right? You can get federal government or professional services jobs like with Booz Allen and Deloitte and those shows doing auditing, FISMA auditing, right? And they'd love to hire those people. So hopefully that helps, Carrie. Good question. Lane, my friend Lane, who does love the midnight. Lane says, all I need is the answer to what your favorite beer is. Oh my God. Okay, so really quick, Lane. Lane asks, what's my favorite beer? I'm going to take a sip of my beer and think about that. Oh, so good. So I'm going to give you a really consultant answer here. It depends. Okay. Now, it depends on what season it is. It depends what's going on. I will tell you, Great Divide's Yeti is currently my absolute favorite beer. And let me show you guys on stream really quickly. Great Divide Yeti. I don't know if you guys have had this, but this beer is, this beer is good. This one right here. Can we get it? This guy? You guys know this one? Oh my gosh. So good. It's an imperial stout. It tastes like heaven. It's almost thick. It's so good. That's where my jam is. But in the summertime, I'm not going to drink an imperial stout. So in summertime, you know what I like? I do like Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA. I don't know if there's any other Dogfish Head people in here, but Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA is a really good one as well. But I will say those are both heavy hitters, so you got to be careful. My kind of like casual drinking beer. I do like Lagunitas Little Somethings. Also, I find that those are quite delicious. All right, so let me go back into chat here really quickly. What's up, Jeremy Williams? Stick to the ribs. Alana, good to see you. Alana, you've been active, very active in the community. I appreciate you and the thoughts you bring to the community, definitely. Maybe determine what frame. Okay, am I missing questions? Colorado beer's getting some love. Yeah, Colorado does know what's up, man, for sure. Hold on, let me flag some more questions. Jared Pierpoint's got one. I'm just going through chat, guys, and scrolling up, and I'm putting it. Oh, Stefan Waldvogel's in here. Hey, Stefan. You know, hey, guys, if you like the Simply Cyber Discord server, you can thank one Stefan Waldvogel, because like a million years ago, he was like, you need a Discord server. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. It seems like it's beyond me. It's too hard. I can't. So then he created one. He created one. And then he's like, oh, why don't you co-host it with me? And then he's like, I don't work here anymore. So Stefan Waldvogel is the reason that the channel has a Discord server, and I'm really, really grateful for it. Anisa Redmond's a mead girl. I do like a good mead. If you guys have ever had Dogfish Head's Midas Touch, they don't make it anymore, but it is really, really good. It was like the idea was it was the honey-based beer that they got from the Egyptian hieroglyphics. What the recipe was. Very cool. What's my personal cyber Carl moment? Okay, so Aaron, great question, guys. Hey, if you've ever worked in IT for a second, and I would consider, this will be the only time I ever say this, I would consider CyberSec IT in this capacity only, okay? So if you've ever worked with technology, like you have some like, oh, crap moment, right? Like everyone's got one. It's like their biggest mistake, their biggest mix-up. There's a reason everybody who has gray in their beard or gray in their hair knows that you're not supposed to make a production change on Fridays. So Aaron, my Carl moment, if you will. I was probably 24, first job out of college, 35-person small business company. I was a web developer. The entire application that ran the whole business was a Perl front end LAMP stack, basically Linux, Apache, mod PHP, but the mod PHP was Perl. And there was no dev environment. There was no production environment. There was obviously production. There was no dev test environment. There was one other developer, and they hired me to like backfill him because I found out later they wanted to fire him. Okay, so I'm like just hacking code, not really best practices, not checking in. Like, listen, this is like early 2000s. We didn't even have like SVNs or source trees or GitHubs or anything like that. I'm just hacking like in prod, and like, you know, with Perl, it's an interpreted language, so you don't compile it. You just make an edit, hit save, and like it's live. And it had a Postgres SQL backend, so you just write in your standard SQL language. And I made a change to the billing system. And for those who don't know, like when you do database SQL queries, in the where clause of the database, you say what tables to look at for the data. Now, you can join multiple tables by, like, if this table has a key and this table has the same column of keys, you join and say where this key equals this key, and it's basically how you merge the tables, so you can do more interesting lookups. Well, if you don't join the tables and identify the key A and key A are here, and it should only return those. If you don't join them, then it looks at both of them in concurrence. And I had this ridiculous query. I was trying to like do all the things at once, and I didn't join the queries, and I pushed it to prod. This is me doing, the Control S, Control X, and pushed it to prod. And I was like, oh, look at me. I am just so good at software development. I'm going to have myself a Snickers bar, right? Because I would eat Snickers. And then I just hear like the equivalent of like the record scratch, and the screen pauses, and it's like, that's when he realized he up. And you just hear people in the other room going, what the hell? What? So like 35-person company, 34 of them are now complaining because basically they started using the system, and because the queries weren't joined, it sucked all of the system resources out of the server rack. I mean, I'm simplifying this, but basically the database was getting hammered. Everything was a hot mess. And even though I ran back in and did the joins, all of the query polls were still executing on the database. You can't like, I fixed the front end. The back end is still running these queries, and you can't just shut the database off because it's a production system, and the billing system is like people are making payments and the money, right? So it was a hot mess on fire. I felt nauseous. I almost threw up. And the best part, this is the most Michael Scott thing ever. The president of the company comes in. He's like, what in the hell is going on? And I'm like, oh, don't worry. I'm just like banging on the keyboard. I'm like, don't worry. I'm fixing this right now. And he's like, all right. And I wasn't like, the keyboard wasn't even connected. I was just banging on it. And I just waited like 2 minutes. Now, granted, I had fixed the query. So all the queries that had failed basically cleared up, and then everything went back operationally. He popped in. He's like, hey, great job getting that issue fixed. Really, really good job. I'm like, yeah, just like cold sweat. Like I didn't do anything. I don't know. I had no idea if that thing was going to get fixed or not. So I don't know if that counts as a Carl moment, Aaron, but that's definitely my my scary moment. All right, let me keep looking at chat here. Hopefully, sorry guys, I know I'm spending a minute or two on different questions, but I really, and I don't even get to say hi to everyone. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Nick Barker. It's good to see Alana, James, Kimball. Did something weird just happen? I don't know what you mean by that, but that was a few minutes ago. Carrie says when he worked in retail, they always thought the manager. They thought he was the manager when he shaved his head. Segi's storage engineer in a retained company. What kind of online sources is available? Here, let's read this one. I'm going to do rapid fire, guys, because it looks like a lot of people have questions, okay? And I want to answer all of them. Okay, so rapid fire. Here we go. 30 seconds or less. I'm a storage engineer in a retained company. What kind of online resources do you have? Cyber professional and having master's degree in 20 years. What kind of online resources available to have a cyber professional? So, Sagar, I mean, go to simplycyber.io. Look at this. If you're asking about resources, look at this, okay? Give me a second. Can someone please from the community type simplycyber.io into chat? And then what is going on? Okay, so look at this website, right? Right here, free resources on the top right. This is tons and tons. You can doom scroll this, okay? Sangi, so get in there. This is tons and tons of free resources. This is access to resources that can help you be a cyber professional. I don't know exactly what your goals are as a cyber professional, so you can use this to help find out. Allison, thank you, Base. Allison asks, what is the best way to transition from an IT support role into cybersecurity? Any advice? Yeah, okay, so Allison, here's what I would do first and foremost. Wherever you work, right? I'm making an assumption here, but wherever you work, if there is an information security office there, engage the CISO if you can, if they're cool. If they're not, engage whoever, like the director of the GRC team is, or the director of the SOC team, and just say, hey, you know, I work over in IT support. I wanted to let you know that I'm really interested in cybersecurity. Is there anything that I can do in my role as IT support to help you guys or help your team accomplish your goals? Right there, Allison, is the first step. You are offering to be a piece of a solution to a problem that they have. You're not saying, hey, do you have something for me? Do you have a job for me? You're saying, hey, I have something for you. Opportunity and capability and access to things. And I'm asking you how I can help you. Tell me how I can help you. So now you're delivering value to the information security office. Hopefully they say yes. I mean, you can even say things like, I can help with, multi-factor authentication. I can help run down owners of, systems. Like, you do a vulnerability scan. And there's systems that are vulnerable, but you can't figure out who owns them. Like someone left or a system got pushed around the department or whatever. You can run down that grunt work, right? All that you're doing is delivering value to the information security office, making them aware of who you are and what you're interested in, and you're beginning to engage with them, right? So as you're delivering value to them, you can start getting experience as a cybersecurity, like with the cybersecurity team. And then I guarantee you this, Allison, when an opportunity comes up in that information security office before it's ever even floated publicly, they will likely be like, hey, Allison's been working with us. Allison wants to be on this team, right? Like, let's see if she's interested. Let's float this by her. I would do that. That's to me the path to like basically getting yourself in there. It's essentially networking, but it's like networking plus because you're actually delivering value to your organization as well. All right. Jared Pierpoint, appreciate the squad support, Jared. Other than keeping up with the news and gamification and having Sec Plus and other entry-level certs, what else can you use on your resume to have a great chance at passing HR? Okay, this is a life hack, okay? This is a life hack, and I love this one, okay? I'll have to find the example that I saw, but like, as you do cyber ranges or home labs or anything, as you're getting what is practical experience, Jarrett, put it on your resume. Like most people have an objective or a summary, then they have education or certs or job experience, and then they have education or certs or job experience, right? There's kind of three sections to your resume. And that's the way most, at least in the United States, the way most people kind of read these things. So under experience, you're not saying professional job experience, you're saying experience. So if you capture experience and essentially kind of make it look like a job, I'm not saying be disingenuous or lie or anything. I'm just saying the structure and format of your resume. And you put, like, let's say you do a burp sweep lab, right? You could say web application pen testing, cross-site scripting injections. I'm not saying like the bullet point list thing. I'm saying discovered, 35 vulnerabilities in web application platform, leveraging Burp Suite Studio, right? So now, but you did it in a home lab, right? Well, there's no difference. Learning on a home lab and doing it professionally, there's not a lot of difference, right? People who are professional and getting paid for it, they still Google what the arguments are and what the flags are. Like, I do it all the time with Nmap, and I've used Nmap like a million times. I don't memorize the flags, right? So I would say do the labs, but document them like that way, because when you're asking about getting past HR doesn't know what we do or understand it. They're looking for keywords and honestly, ALS tracking and stuff like that will just flag on those things. So if you keep them in there as experience, then it'll pass the HR auto checks. It'll pass HR human checks. People like me, hiring manager, will look at it. I mean, I've looked at them before and been like, oh, okay, like this person's got experience doing these things. So I hope that helps, Jared. I am trying to go quick. IT Sorcerer says, yes, as a recruiter, hold on. IT Sorceress dropping knowledge. Oh my gosh. You guys, IT Sorcerer is saying she's a recruiter, or yeah, I'm assuming she because of the S. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. She says, yes, as a recruiter, please show me what projects you're working on. Lab range is so relevant, can help us bridge gaps from your work experience. So true, right? If you don't say it, we don't know. Love it. All right. Cyber Kiwi asks, what material courses would you recommend after my GRC course? Let me take a sip. It's a good batch this year. So that's a fun question, Cyber Kiwi, because some people, you're welcome, Jared. Some people don't know this, but I literally made the GRC course because I got asked all the time, where can I get GRC training? And I ended up, like, I would tell people NIST 800 series is the best place to go, which it really is, but it's super dry. It's difficult to consume. And honestly, I kind of felt like a peckerhead. I guess that's suitable for work. Like, I felt like a peckerhead. I felt like I was giving a really crappy answer to people who are looking for help. I literally made the GRC course so I could have a better answer to give people. So when you're asking me what to do afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a good answer. I'm going to have to make a GRC Analyst 201 course. But to give you the answer, Cyber Kiwi, what I would suggest is go to NIST 800 series spec pubs, right? Now that you have the GRC course and you understand audit and risk and all these things, go look at them and look at the 837. That's the risk management framework. Look at NIST SP 830. So 37 and 30, right? Those are the two easiest ones to consume. 30 is like how to do a risk assessment. It'll model very similar to what I did in the GRC class, but it'll go into a much greater detail, right? It's probably like 300 pages. What else? I would also recommend, it's not crazy deep, but like Rob Lee, can someone in chat please help me, mods maybe? Rob Lee's blog. Rob Lee is the CEO of Dragos, which is like the de facto expert group on ICS security. He has a blog post around how to do threat intelligence and how to deliver threat assessments. And I suggest you look at that, because when you're doing the risks part and you're actually thinking through like what is the actual risk of this threat being realized, it'll give you greater context and it'll enable you to be able to communicate more effectively both to your peers and to management when you're giving risk assessments based, like the actual output of a risk assessment. You'll be able to be better informed and you'll actually do better risk assessments. So thank you, Base Case. I love Base Case. I owe you a beer, or at least a beer. I owe you much more than that. Carrie asked, are there any jobs that can be paired with when I did retail work? I hope not. The retail jobs were not the best. I will look to see this as well. So Carrie, with retail, what I would actually suggest is kind of like think about the transferable skills that you had. Now you're saying like jobs that could be like that. I mean, I guess you could do sales engineering. So in the world of like tech sales, Carrie, there's two like people who go to the client site for sales. There's like the sales guy, and then there's the tech guy who like runs the demo, right? Josh Mason does this for SimSpace, right? He does the tech part. So talk to Josh about to get better detail of what I'm talking about right now. But there's the sales guy who's like wearing the blazer and trying to like, sizzle and sell stuff. And then there's the guy who's running the demo. Like, it's still retail. You're still in sales. You're still helping the client. You're still going to the office, right? And there is a travel component typically, Carrie. So, be mindful. There could be remote stuff. But there's, in cybersecurity, that sales engineer on the tech side is part of that sales team, and it's required. And you don't really have to do sales. You just have to be able to fly around the application or the product or the suite or whatever it is that they're selling. And obviously they're going to train the crap out of you on it because they want you to be able to do slick demos. That's what I would do. Like, lean into retail, lean into sales. You've dealt with difficult people. You've had to deliver tough news. You've been able to communicate. You know what I mean? Like, think of all the transferable skills and then kind of lean into that. Good question. Thank you, Carrie. James Kimball. James, thanks for being here on LinkedIn. Says, did something weird just happen? I don't know. Let me have a sip. Is this weird? Okay. Hey, a little behind the scenes. You guys would never see this, but CBC is actually Charleston Brew Crew. When I first moved to Charleston, I really do like craft beer. When I first moved to Charleston, we didn't have kids yet. And I have a lot of energy and I do a lot of things, and I didn't have an outlet for that energy. So I started a social craft beer club. And it was called the Charleston Brew Crew. And we had about 75 members. We would do events and go to bars or breweries and brewery tours and tailgating events. And it was a lot of fun. But once we had kids, I had to step away. And then I gave it to 3 people. I gave it to 3 people to run, and it imploded. It imploded like almost instantly. Like the next event failed, and then that was the end of that. So anyways, that's a relic of yesteryear for me. We got a question here. Wang Cat says, what do you think of getting the CH as a starting certification? All right, well, here's a hard truth. Okay, and I mean no disrespect to EC Council, and I'm going to try to say this as objectively as possible to eliminate any slander or libel because I'm not into that. The CEH is a lot of people in the industry who practice professional pen testing, right? The offensive side of the house. They do not respect the CEH. Okay? That's as plain as I can put it. Also, the EC Council has been embroiled in plagiarism. I won't even call it accusations because I've seen the evidence on Twitter, okay? And they were definitely borrowing other people's content and not giving proper attribution and passing it off as their own. So, you know, there's kind of some questions for me about the organization and then, of course, the actual cert itself. As somebody in chat, Nick Barker just wrote, if it were me and I was looking for entry-level certifications around pen testing, I might consider INE's, whatever INE's entry-level one is. I forget what it's called. And then Pen Test Plus. And then if you really want to actually go YOLO, TCM Academy's practical ethical hacking course. I don't think you get a cert for it. Maybe you get a certificate of completion, but like that course is legit. Like I've taken that course. I've paid for it twice because I wanted to use a different email address, but like that course is legit. Okay. And again, so, you know, so that's my thoughts on CH. I'm trying to be politically correct, diplomatic, all those things. It does have value. I think they've worked their way into the DoD 8570, so which means that it qualifies for certain billets in the U.S. government. But as far as like practical value and more importantly, how it's viewed by hiring managers and practitioners in the space, I don't think it carries the weight that some of the other ones do. Next question from Daniel Helmy, or Helma. I'm sorry, Daniel. Read any good books lately? Doesn't need to be cyber related. Well, Daniel, I don't know if you know me, but I live and breathe. I live and breathe cyber. So, yeah, well, in craft beer. But if a craft beer cybersecurity brewery opened, holy crap. I have read a good book lately. Let me pull it up. This book right here, I'm in the middle of reading. It is fantastic. Here, how do we get this? Let me make sure there's no personal information on this page. Okay. I am currently reading This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends by Nicole Pelroth. This book is excellent. It's all about the cyber weapons arm race. It is a slog. It's a very thick read. I'm about halfway through it. And this book is sick. It talks about NSA, TAO, investments post 9/11 into weaponizing cyber capabilities within the United States, how Israel and the United States went into Natanz in Iran and did Stuxnet, and why the United States did what they did because Israel was pushing. They wanted to get something done. They were going to do something much more militaristic. And then once the box was out, like once Stuxnet got out, it spread across the world. Then it gets into the 0-day market. And like, listen, you can go on BugCrowd or HackerOne and sell. You can find a 0-day and sell it, right? Like as part of a bug bounty program, and maybe get $10,000. But guys, seriously, if you find like a 6 0-day in like Windows operating system, there's countries in this world that will give you $250,000, $500,000, right? Because they will only have it. Nobody will know about it, and they can weaponize it very quickly. And then it gets into the whole environment of like, okay, but I can sell it to you, but I could also sell it to your opponent and not tell you, and no one will be able to know. So I could get $1 million, 500,000 from each of you, right? It really, really lays out the entire 0-day underground market, and that, like, how much, like, and even in the United States, right? Like, the CIA isn't telling the FBI that they're buying 0 days, so then both of them are buying it, even though they could have shared it because it's the same taxpayer thing. It's an excellent read. The final thing I'll say about this is Nicole Pelroth, or Pearl Roth, I said her name wrong. She writes excellent. It almost reads like a fiction spy thriller. It is so well done. So definitely check this book out. Thanks for the question. I do love reading when I can, and this one is absolutely delightful. Final question, Dennis. Not final question, but final question until I revisit chat, have some beers, and relax. How does identity and access management fit in other cyber roles? Have an interview next week for identity and access management analyst role. Okay, Dennis. Here we go. By the way, if you're a squad member, just know that I added a bunch of new emotes yesterday, so definitely take advantage of those. Okay, so identity and access hold on, you guys don't want to look at the book anymore. Identity and access management is, it's funny. It used to be part of like provisioning, maybe IT, as like, you get spun up and off you go. And as we've moved to a zero trust model, the identity and the access has become more and more important. And we start getting into situations where like you have your AD creds, but you need to do like federated authentication with cloud service providers. So Dennis, one thing I would like, okay, so this is going to sound kind of harsh, and maybe I'm old and I just am stuck in my ways, but like, I don't think of identity and access management as a cyber role. Okay. It definitely has importance in the cyber world, just like ITs and operating systems have a place in the cyber world, but I am not, I think of identity and access management as a separate role, but as a cybersecurity professional, I'm helping dictate standards. I'm helping dictate appropriate, acceptable solutions for remote access, for cloud systems, cloud access service broker systems, those type of things, right? But I don't think of identity and access management as cyber. I will say if you have 3 years of identity and access management experience and you're applying for a cyber role, that's going to weigh heavier to me as relevant experience because it's tangential to cybersecurity. Okay, having said all that, if I was going in for an interview next week, what I would do is the following, because I'm more interested in helping you get the job, Dennis, if you want it, right? I want it to be your decision whether or not you take it, not theirs. What I would look at is understand what federated authentication is, single sign-on, understand the Hey, come here. I have to explain what just happened. Come here. I have to apologize. My little puppy just got sick, and he was about to throw up, and I had to help him out. But he's okay now. All right. He must have ate something dumb. Whew. He's okay, guys. Okay. Identity and access management. All I would say is learn the terms like federated authentication, single sign-on, and more importantly, Dennis, you should understand some of the shortcomings and challenges with identity and access management. like legacy accounts, the fact that cloud-based accounts that aren't federated can persist after an employee is terminated. Also, privilege, creep. And one of the real challenges is, oh, hey, like I've been here years and they're hiring Dennis to come in and help me. And then they're like, hey, like give Dennis the same creds as Jerry, but I've accumulated a ton way more creds than I need and permissions that I need. And now you've been here one day, access to everything because of really bad procedures. Okay. And when someone quits and they don't shut the account off, those type of things, be familiar with those concepts, and that will be what they ask you about, and you can wow them. All right. I wish you the very best. Let us know. Okay. Let me have a sip of beer. Whew, okay. I hope you guys are getting value from the stream. It's very much a different stream than I normally do. I will tell you this. I'm going back through chat right now looking for questions, but like a show concept that someone submitted to me a while ago that I'm considering doing is basically like once a month, like maybe a Friday afternoon, 4 to 5 or 3 to 4, whatever. Oh, okay. Basically it would be called like Jerry's office hours or Simply Cyber's office hours or something like that. And the idea would be that I'd have a beer. You all hopefully would have a beer. I know some of you on the West Coast wouldn't be able to get beers, but the idea is it would be like like basically this stream. This is almost like a pilot for Jerry's office hours, which I do office hours like as a professor and stuff like that. Let me know if that's something you're into. I don't know. We could have some fun. Let me look at some more questions. Robert says, hey, Robert, good to see you. Thanks. Robert's always commenting good stuff, like adding a lot of value to the conversation on the stream. So thank you, Robert. Why haven't Unikernels taken off as a must-need from cybersecurity folks? I'm not familiar with the term Unikernels. Let me, maybe that's why it hasn't taken off. Marketing campaign hasn't really gone bananas. Unikernels is a specialized single address space machine image constructed by using library operating systems. I mean, is this basically like a micro container, like a micro Docker? In library operating systems, protection boundaries are pushed to the lowest layers, resulting in a set of libraries that implement mechanisms such as those needed to drive hardware or talk networks. Honestly, like based on the very little that I just researched here, Robert, hold on. Fixed purpose images which run directly on a hypervisor hardware without intervening OS such as Linux and kernels. This has been around since the 90s. My only thought based on here, I'm looking at this graphic right here. Okay. This is an on the fly, I thought. I'm looking at this graphic right here. The first thing that jumps out on this graphic, by the way, so the thing on the right is what a Unikernel looks like versus a traditional operating system. My initial thought here is, Robert, that by doing this, this is fine for like firmwares and IoT devices where there isn't massive changes, but when you're pushing multiple dynamic link libraries into, updates and processes and stuff like that, to allow for flexibility and, modular code adjustments and stuff like that, you'd have to recompile the entire thing, which either could have a time commitment or like an overload commitment. You might have to bring the system down in order to fully upgrade this versus just switching out a DLL perhaps. So there could be some performance hits, right? I don't know what the level of commitment is for like migrate, like do certain applications, certain systems not support this type of quote unquote operating system. Again, this is me kind of shooting from the hip, Robert. So, but that's my initial thoughts just based on the limited information I have. Good question though. I just learned a new term. Thank you. Okay. What do you think of the new entry-level cert from ISC squared? Okay. Entry-level cert, ISC squared. I'll give you a very honest opinion here. Certified in Cybersecurity Education. Is that the cert you're talking about? I'll tell you in a second. Who should get... Hold on, let's look at this together. Who should get certified in cybersecurity? Current IT professional. I want to see, like, I want to see what the, what does it cover? Why pursue it? What's covered in the exam? That's what I want to see. No, I'm not going to register for this. Are you kidding me? Come on. I just want to see what it covers. I'm sorry, Joe. I can't really comment on it because I can't see. Like, to me, it's like I need to know, what does it cover? Is it cover multiple domains? Is this supposed to be like a Security Plus killer? I will tell you this. ISC Squared, I think, is a legit organization. I like what they do. I like the community that they support and the professional organization that they are. If they put the time and effort into a Security Plus killer, you got to remember, Security Plus has been around for like 30 years. It's been around forever. I got it like way back in the day. So if they had waited this long, like, dude, if it's all about the money, Kimberly,
Straight cash, homie.
if it's all about the money, they would have come up with this a while ago, right? So I would think that they'd be a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more intentional in what they design, and I think it would probably be good. The CISSP for years has been considered like the gold standard cybersecurity professional milestone to achieve. So, you know, I think it's probably good, but I'm sorry, I can't pull up the details in order to properly answer your question. Well, answer it better than what I'm doing right now. All right. Oh, hey, Dan Reardon. Good to see you gaming with Kat. I love all you guys here. Eric Silberman, good to see you. Eric Silberman. Oh, hold on. We got Jeremy Williams with like 5 questions. If you had to pick your own name and it can't be your current name, what would it be? Oh, that's easy. Dickie Ascot. Next question. Let's see. One time I hacked a martini. The martini hack had an onion instead of an olive. Okay. I love it. InfoSec Kid says it covers mostly Sec Plus. So then all I would say is if it's the same thing, then look at like the job, like work backwards from the job you're trying to get, right? If they're asking for it, you know, Sec Plus is really entrenched in the community of hiring managers and stuff. So you might have to push on that. But how long have I been saving that one? Oh no, that one goes back to college. Not to be confused with Sebastian Lotsacock, but all right. So Robert Buchanan, is your application compiled? Is your application compiled into a single purpose kernel with no other exposure but your application? Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of what a container is, right? So I like that idea. I do like that idea. I will share this with you guys on stream. I attended Thursday Defensive today, which is this thing right here with Recon InfoSec. And they had the guy who's like the lead developer for OS Query. And he actually mentioned this book. Where the hell is it? No. Where is it? Give me a second. Yes, this book, which you can get for free if you go to the author's site. I'm in the middle of trying to read it. Okay, it's called Container Security, and it's all about, like, a lot of people think, oh, Docker, Kubernetes, like, oh, it's wicked secure because it's containerized, and like the term container is a misnomer. Like, it's not I mean, it's secure-ish, but it still has gaps and flaws and stuff like that. And this book gets all into the fundamental technology concepts to protect containerized applications, how to protect it, where the gaps are, weaknesses to worry about. I'll drop this. How can I drop a link in chat? I guess Google Liz Rice. Liz Rice, her name is right here. Liz Rice, Container Security. And if you go to her GitHub, there'll be a link and you can get to it. Yep. Oh, I see Robert Buchanan not liking it because it's got a extra crap in it. I hear you on that one. How many times have you named a VM the Gibson, popped in and yelled, "I hacked the Gibson"? Oh, you know what? I do love the Gibson, but I have not done that. I have not done that. That's a good question, though. It's a fun one. I'm looking back through chat. I'm going to have to go in a minute, y'all. Family dinner. My choice. I'm getting a pad thai burrito. All right. Going back and looking, what would your spouse say is your weirdest quirk? Oh, that's a pretty personal thing. I can tell you, well, I wouldn't say weirdest, but maybe most annoying. So I got punched in the jaw. I got punched in the jaw a lot in college. I'll just leave that there. But right here, more than once. And because of it, I have a bit of an issue, and my jaw clicks when I chew. And you'd be surprised how often I chew. Like, I don't know, at least 3 times a day. At least one of those meals is with my family. So, I mean, I think they've gotten attuned to it, but that's definitely annoying. I don't know if it's my weirdest quirk. What would my weirdest quirk be? Yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's a fun question. I'll actually ask her over to dinner tonight. What's my favorite meme so far? Dan, do you mean that you have made or in general? Because I really do like, I like the one with the car swerving off the highway and taking the exit ramp and the different things that people come up with those. I find that one, I love that one. Oh my God, Nick Barker, like jaw jacking. Yeah, you nailed it, man. Who knew? Oh, base cases favorites. Oh yeah. Actually, Base, is there a link you can send me? Is there a way to, if I just type in oh yeah into the Googles, do I get it? No, that's a Green Day song. Okay. Yeah, there's a thing I did on cyber insecurity one time, and it was instantly memed. So I was still right. How did you end up at the Citadel? So good question. When I was at MUSC, I was actually being overutilized, and I had 3 jobs, and I was very unhappy. I was unhappy with 2 jobs, and then they gave me a 3rd job. Thank you, Base. I will click on that. Can you send it to me in chat? I can't click on it. And I basically found out about a job because a guy, I see it, Base. Thank you. A guy I went to college with, a PhD, Corey Nance, he actually worked at the Citadel as a professor, and they had an opening. He said, hey, you want to come interview? And I said, okay. So I interviewed, and they loved me, right? Like, cool. And they offered me a full-time tenure-track profession. And I won't get into the details, but the Citadel is a state college of the state of South Carolina. So it's a government college. So the government has certain pay band constraints, and what they could pay me was significantly less than what I was making at the time. And obviously with my next job, I wanted to make more than I was making. I certainly didn't want to take a pay cut. And because it was the maximum amount they could offer me, I would never be able to make more. So I could be tenure track professor 6 years from now, and like I'd still be making the same amount. So like I wouldn't even grow with inflation. So from a financial perspective, it didn't make sense. I couldn't justify it. It was unacceptable. So I actually was like, well, I can't really do this, but I really like the mission and I really love educating. You know, maybe we could do something else. And they're like, well, what if you taught as an adjunct professor? And I said, oh, that sounds cool, but it has to work with my schedule, so I have to do it first thing in the morning. And they said, okay. And then that's how it started. And I'm the longest tenured person who teaches the class at the Citadel, and I enjoy it. It's cool. So let me show you the meme. This is the meme. Oh yeah. You know, oh yeah. This was around third-party risk management, and Neil Bridges walked me into a corner about being able to use third-party risk management questionnaires to decide whether or not you were going to do business with a company. He's like, okay, so Amazon says that they don't do anything. You think the business isn't going to work with Amazon? I'm like, Neil, like, and then I was like, my initial reaction was, oh yeah, like obviously Neil. So this is almost taken slightly out of context, but I do have a surprise. Like, there could be a Neil Bridges Simply Cyber mashup coming sometime in the before 2023. Just tease that out there. Thoughts on cyber insurance? Yeah, I love cyber insurance. The one thing I hate about cyber insurance is that a lot of business people think that cyber insurance is an alternative to cybersecurity when it's actually complementary to cybersecurity. I also love Jeremiah Grossman. You can Google him, CEO of, I think, BitDiscovery, but longtime contributor to the InfoSec community. He said in 2016, he's like, insurance companies are going to dictate the controls that information security programs make. And I champion that 100%, and he's 100% right, because now premiums are wicked expensive. All the companies want cyber insurance, and in order to get it cheaper, which is what everybody wants, they want more cheaper, you have to implement things like MFA, security awareness training, EDRs, like basic stuff. And it's cyber insurance that's actually driving that. So good on them in the most indirect way possible. All right, let's see. Looking at chat. Yeah, thanks, Kimberly. Neil and I have done a couple mashups in the past, and they've been really good. David Bombal, oh wait, hold on. David Bombal, I reached out to him. I've had an introduction made to him. He did not, he ghosted it, right? And I'm sure he's a very busy person. I get a lot of DMs that I can't reply to, so I'm not going to say anything negative about him. He makes great content. I've tried, and it's just not in the cards at this time. What about Colin with Mike Pound? I don't know who Colin is or Mike Pound, but I do like you, Justin Gold. Lane H asks, if you could do it all again, would you change anything in your career? Oh, wow. Holy crap. Wow. That's a really deep question, Lane. No, I mean, I'm very happy where I am now. The job that I took where I got exploited, I met my wife at, so there is definitely value in that. I wouldn't have changed that. No, I mean, I'm very happy where I am and where I've landed. I was thinking about it today as I woke up on my birthday. I'm like, I'm very, very happy with myself, with my choices, with my decisions, with my life. I'm very at peace with everything. If I could do anything different, knowing what I know now, and it's funny because I talk to the cadets at the Citadel all the time, and I try to impart wisdom to them, and they're like, yeah, we got it. And I get it. I was young, and I thought I had all the answers too. But like, I could be where I am today and be 34. You know what I mean? Like I could have done it faster. I didn't take the fastest route, the optimal path, because I had to figure it out. I didn't have Simply Cyber or Cyber Insecurity or any of the great channels and people in the community, or I didn't know about them. I didn't take advantage of them. I really feel like they weren't there though, to help guide me. So I had to make a lot of decisions and make a lot of mistakes and fail, and reset and go. So the only thing I would change is I would have done it faster because I'm happy now. All right. Hold on. You guys got questions out all day. Have you ever heard of Boyd Cluis? I have not. Aaron, did you ever get a response from Scammer Payback on YouTube? Nope. Tried him too. No dice. Network Chuck? No. I don't even know if Network Chuck is responding to his own DMs. He probably has a team for that. But no, he didn't give me a sniff. I'm small potatoes, guys. 46,000. I will say John Hammond is a really nice guy, very cool guy. Spent some time with him in Deadwood. Also, Heath Adams over at TCM Academy, great guy, and I love what they're doing over there. Any tips for PMs working with engineers? Yeah, I mean with engineers, I would try to ask them, very specific questions. Engineers like to work in very quantified ways, like, hey, like when can you do this? And this is one trick that I always use, Nick. It's like, hey, when can you, you're supposed to get MFA rolled out, or you're supposed to configure the database to interface with the front end web server, whatever it is. How long is it going to take? And don't tell me a number you want me to know. Tell me a date that really works for you. And, I don't care how long it is or whatever, right? It will have, obviously it could impact the schedule, but tell me what it's really going to take from you, and tell me what you need to get it done, right? Allow the engineers to tell you when and what. Don't put, a lot of times PMs will push down their own schedule on top of you, and it doesn't work. But if you say, I can get it done by Thursday, well, now you've just committed yourself. Like, you told me Thursday. You're the one who set the schedule. People will feel more self-accountable, right? Do you think all security persons should develop something or maintain a solution first? Yes. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to code or develop software or anything like that, but understanding the pain points of a sys owner or an app owner or sysadmin gives security people better context. I always say this, like if you learn IT and then you're a security person, you understand how it's supposed to work. So then a security person can understand how you can circumvent, compromise, etc., attack, or defend in a way that works for the business, right? Because you could shut the system off and it's totally secure, but it's totally unusable, and that sucks, right? So by understanding it, you can actually have empathy for the business. And that's why it's really important for GRC people to be talking to the business all the time, because you need to understand the business and have empathy. Empathy. It's very valuable. All right. You guys got great questions today. Thanks, Rhoda. Come on in here. Have you ever heard of Mike Miller? Would you invite him to your show? Actually, Rhoda, Mike Miller was on the channel a couple weeks ago. If you go onto the Simply Cyber YouTube channel and search on Mike Miller, you'll be able to pull that up. In fact, let's just do this really quick, and then I'm gonna head on out real. 2 more questions. Okay, let's do this. Simply Cyber Mike Miller. Mike Miller, great guy, by the way. Of course it doesn't come. Didn't he come on the show? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so there's me, there's Mike. Here, I'll drop a link in chat. Rhoda. There you go. Giddy up on it. All right, guys. Take care, Alicia Jerry. I've got to go too, guys. This beer's just about done. Delicious. I want to thank all of you for being here. Again, sorry about, my dog getting sick, but that obviously takes priority. I hope you got value out of the stream. I enjoyed spending time with you today. It is my birthday. I love connecting with the Simply Cyber community. I love live streaming. I love sharing whatever experience and knowledge I have, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. You can learn from the lessons and errors that I've made in my career and my personal life. And, hopefully shortcut yourself to a better situation or to a situation that makes you happy, leveling up your current career, pivoting into one that you love, whatever it is. I genuinely appreciate all of you. This is part of the things that I wanted to do on my birthday, and I'm so glad that it fell on a Thursday so I could do this live stream. I'll go back and check the chat. I'm sure when I ran off for the dog, you guys said all sorts of great, funny stuff. But let me know if you're interested in like the beer office hours. I would be interested in what people think about that. I might do it anyways, because this has been a really fun stream. And it's really been because of your engagement and because of the questions and answers and everything. Oh, thanks so much, Cybersecurity Central. Guys, definitely go follow Cybersecurity Central on social media. They do a great job over there. Kimberly McKnight is the brains behind it, and she's just amazing. That's going to do it for today, y'all. I will say I've got to make a decision soon on whether or not I'm going to be playing copyright music anymore. I could get my channel banned, so that's not good. I've had 2 days in a row of issues. And that's no bueno for anyone. All right, guys. I'm Jerry. This is Cybersecurity. Career Answers, Simply Cyber. Tomorrow is Friday, November 11th. There will be a podcast, 8 a.m. I hope you can join us. Thank you so much, Matt McDaniels. Thanks so much for everybody for the warm birthday wishes. Thanks, Lane, for the super chat. Very kind of you. Let me read this on stage. Thank you for all you do for the community. You've made everything so much easier and accessible. I can't thank you enough. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I'm up here trying to do. That's why I started. It's why I started Simply Cyber. Frankly, I shared the tweet from 2019 on maybe in Discord the other day, where I said I think I might start a YouTube channel and help people break into the industry, and I did. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. We will see you soon. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Take care, everyone.